What's going on, man? Today I just want to get on here and talk about my experiences being 15. Now, this lovely goddess of a friend, I'm not going to drop her name, but she gave me the idea to document all my fucking life. But she gave me the idea to document all my experiences, some of the things I learned being 15. I was going to write it down, but I said, nah, I'm just making it into a video. So I was chilling yesterday, and I was really like thinking, like, yo, what I really learned at 15? And I wrote down a few things that I feel I can relay the message to y'all, and hopefully this will help somebody. So one thing I learned when I was 15 was that your external world is a reflection of your internal world. As the saying, as within, so without, couldn't be any more true. Your external world is merely a manifestation of how you are internally. So if you have destructive habits, like maybe an addiction to something such as porn or an addiction to a drug or whatever, that's only a reflection of how you are internally, and how you deal with things externally is only how you deal with things internally, because you are not the outermost layer. You are what is located inside of your vessel, because that's all your body is. It's just a vessel, a weapon to navigate through life as a human. And you are the innermost layer. You have the power to do anything you choose to do, and this, for the person who has a destructive external world, has that power and has manifested that reality because of how they are internally. That's why it's so important to not say things that aren't meant to be said. Like, it sounds, you learn this in preschool, but if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it, because you really don't know what a person is going through on the inside. You really don't know unless you are that person. Like, you will never truly understand what that person is going through unless you went through that experience the same way and felt those same emotions, or if you were literally them. Like, me and this person could go through the same thing, and I might take something completely different from another person, and they may take that experience and learn something completely different than me, and that's okay. So you really don't know what someone may be going through, and it's just so important to have positive thoughts so you can manifest the best reality that you can externally, as within, so without. Another thing I learned was love. It is so important to love yourself, love others, love everything you have around you, because your life now, it may seem hard, is someone's dream life. And putting it like that just really puts everything in perspective for you and me, because yeah, my life isn't perfect, nobody's life is perfect, but my life is somebody's dream life. Somebody who's living much worse than me internally and externally, they may want my life. And just putting it like that is just such a beautiful thing, to know that I'm blessed to be in this position right now, a position set up to where I can do better things in the future. It is so important to love yourself and other people, because you can't love someone else if you can't give that love to yourself. And I'm not talking about love in terms of materialistic things like the phone that I'm recording with or anything like that. I'm talking about the love that you have within yourself internally. I'm talking about that love that comes from your heart chakra, the love that comes from the fifth dimension, or 5D, or the fifth density. That's the type of love I'm talking about. I'm talking about the highest vibration, which is unconditional love. This is what I'm talking about. I can't love you if I don't love myself. That's just not possible. If I tried to give you $20 and I didn't have $20, then I can't give it to you, because I physically do not have it. Now let's take that and apply it on a much grander scale. If I don't love myself, how am I expected to love you unconditionally if I can't do that to myself? It is so important to place self-value on yourself, and just know that you are loved by literally any and everyone. You are loved by yourself, and you are loved by your higher self. You are loved by your parents. You are loved by any and everyone, even the people, even the entities that roam around this earth that are on higher planes of existence, such as, let's just say, the astral realm. They love you too, your guardian angels. You taking time out for yourself is not you being stingy. That is you only dedicating time to yourself, showing yourself unconditional love. You can't put other people before you, because at the end of the day, you, like I said before, you are the innermost layer. That voice inside your head is you, and only has been you this whole entire time. Let's just be honest with ourselves. You didn't hear any external voices because that's the voice that you heard within your head. And it's just so important to love your internal body before you can even love anything externally. So another thing that I learned when I was 15, or going through the course of being 15, was life. I already made a video about this, but just to expand on it a little bit, really life, it really is not that serious. Life is really not meant to be taken literally. The problems that we see as problems now only exist because we made it a problem. The first fuck up we made was calling that problem a problem. That was the first mistake that we made. The problems that you create are only manifestations of your own mental. They're only problems because you made it a problem. That test that you got an 80 on, yeah, you may not think that's good, or let's just say 65 on, you may not think that's good, and that it's a problem, but it's only a problem because you made it a problem. Literally everything is a mindset. Everything starts with a thought first. You had to think that that thing was bad in order for you to transmutate that into negative energy. That's all it is. Everything really is just a mindset. Like I said from beforehand, it's only a problem because you made it a problem. And that's one thing that I even struggle with today. It's just like the things that I go through, that I may go through, that I see as a problem, I just have to remember isn't a problem, but I only made it one. Hence it being a problem. Some of like the notes I wrote along with that was stop stressing so much. Just stop stressing so much and having so much internal conflict. That is one thing that I struggle with still to this day, is that sometimes I feel like I have so much internal conflict with myself, and it's tiring. All right, the video ended, but I'm back. So what I was saying is that mentally, it's just very tiring to overthink. You know, just stop overthinking. Overthinking is literally you just being in your head too much. That's all I have to. That's what I really had to learn this year, is that you overthinking is just you being in your head way too much, and that's not healthy for you. That is very unhealthy for you, and just very draining. Just very draining energetically. Another thing I wrote down was what else? The first mistake was made was calling that problem a problem. What is it? What I noticed is that if something is bothering you at the time and you feel the need to stir up some type of negativity as a result of it, if it's not gonna bother you within the next 5 minutes, if it's not gonna bother you within the next 10 minutes, the next hour, the next day, the next week, month, year, then don't worry about it. Life is about just adaptation. Just adapt. If there's a problem or something that's bothering you, it's only bothering you because you made it bother you. Like literally everything is up to you in this lifetime. And you just really have to learn how to work with the cards that you're dealt. You have to really work with the cards that you are dealt with, because it's like nobody's gonna make things better for you unless you make it better for yourself. Literally, we can't always rely on an external power, being maybe a messiah or what you consider God in the Bible, or just even peers and acquaintances, like family members, friends, and just other people. We can't rely on those other people, because it's really time that we did our own thing and that we really eliminated our problems, or if there are problems, then you adapt to them. The things that happened last year that still take effect to me even now, today, as of February 10th, 2021, it's not a problem anymore, because I have now adapted to that problem, and it is no longer a problem, but more something that I can just either use to my advantage or something that just doesn't bother me anymore. Another thing I wrote down that I learned at 15 was stop looking to other people for validation. And this is more specifically when I started my spiritual journey. When I started my spiritual journey, there were so many people, so many content creators who would talk about things, and it was just, I took in a lot of information, but at the same time, it's like I seek for other people's validation to see where I'm at in my own spiritual growth. Like I said in my last video, spirituality is the knowledge of self. Even though, I don't like that word, but spirituality is the knowledge of self, and you can't rely on other people to give you validation. Like, you can't look up, oh, is my third eye open? No, you can't look that up. Or if you do, then it's not going to be very accurate to your life, because your pineal gland decalcifying and your third eye opening and you raising the kundalini energy, which is the fluid energy in your spine, raising to your pineal gland is going to be different for everybody, and everyone evolves at different speeds. For me personally, in terms of my spiritual awakening, from June 27, 2020 to now, I've evolved very fast. And that's not me bragging or anything like that, but I've just evolved very fast because there were things that happened in my life that caused me to raise my vibration even farther than the rest. And it's just who I am as a soul. It's just really led me into my spiritual journey and raising my vibration. Me talking to you is me only relaying my messages. If they don't apply to you, then they don't apply. That's it. If you don't agree with some of the stuff I'm saying, then that's okay. That's okay. Go within. I'm not bullshitting now. But if there's something that doesn't resonate with you, then that's fine. Because you're the own generator, operator, and dispenser of your own reality. You're your own ultimate manifestor of your own reality. So if that doesn't sit with your soul, then that's fine. But don't argue with me about it. We can debate about it. Maybe we can start a conversation. But it's all up to you. Literally, it's all up to you. What did I write down? Some of the notes that go along with that point. I wrote, if someone online or whatever is bothering you, because I'll give you a little example of like my own life. There was a YouTuber who I feel like was influencing me in the wrong way, which caused me to have a lot of internal conflict, which is what I wrote down as my other point. And I was like, it wasn't me who came to this realization over a time. It just faded away and I just didn't care anymore. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to do me and he going to do him, or this person going to do them. And that's fine. That's okay. But you never even met this guy in your life, ever. He's not your mom. He's not your dad. He's not your brother. He ain't your sister. He's not one of your friends. You don't even know him. Man lives across the country and is just a YouTuber. He's a fucking content creator on YouTube. And you gonna let this nigga sway you in the wrong direction to where you feel like you need all that you've learned within the past few months is invalidated? No. So I said that to say this. Don't let other people sway you in a negative direction. Because once you do, that starts to challenge what you know. I was going to say beliefs, but we need to get rid of that word belief, because belief was a word brought in during the age of Pisces, the age of believing. Hence, we have all these religions and whatnot, but that's a topic for another time. So, what I was saying is, just don't let people sway you in the negative light, because once you do, you lost. You done lost already. Now you're giving this energy subconsciously to this other person who lives across the freaking state. Across the country, I mean. So you can't even really do that. Just keep your energy to yourself if necessary. Another thing I learned was work, and relax. This year, or last year, as of March 22nd, I was 213 pounds. Right now, as of February 10th, I weigh 165. Over the course of a little bit under a year at this point, I've lost over 50 pounds. It is so important to work on yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically, because there's nobody else who's going to do that for you. It is so important to really work on yourself and just dedicate time to yourself. Like I said from beforehand, you're not being stingy because you want to take time for yourself. No, you're just preparing yourself for bigger and better things, and that's okay. If you have to let go of some people as a result of you trying to better yourself, then you're not wrong for that. You shouldn't feel bad for that. Don't ghost somebody, but if you have to, then you gotta do what you gotta do for your own good. You have to do what you have to do, and relax. Sometimes we overwork ourselves. We overwork ourselves mentally and physically. We overwork ourselves to the highest extent, and that's very unhealthy for you. Life is about balance. You have to find that 50-50 between work and rest. Like for me personally, I work out every other day. Or no, not every other day. I work out 2 days, then I rest 1. 2 days, then I rest 1. Because I feel like that's the perfect balance for work to rest. That's the perfect work to rest ratio for me. And it's just so important that we really work on ourselves to become the best person, the greatest person that we can be for ourselves and for other people. And the last thing that I wrote down, this isn't all the stuff I learned, but the last bullet point that I have on this paper is that happiness really comes from within. Happiness comes in waves, and you're not always gonna feel happy. As a soul, you reincarnated into this physical 3D body to feel. You need to feel in order to grow. This is the hardest level of spiritual evolution. This is the hardest level. Once you beat this level, you can go on to all the other levels, all the other densities and all the other dimensions. You can do that. This is the hardest level. This is why it's called the veil of forgetting. It's called the veil of forgetting, and people are led astray off of their path because it's so hard. It's very hard. We have these people nowadays who sway us into the wrong direction, and it's just so important to go within on your own information. Now, don't be in denial. Do not be in denial, and be open-minded to any and everything. But as I said before, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't. Everything is about finding internal balance. You have to be happy. Feel happy every week, and that's fine. That is fine, because I've had times over the course of being 15 where I feel like I was just like, damn, another day of not being happy. Damn, another day of not being happy. It's just like happiness comes in waves, and you're not gonna feel the greatest all the time, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that you find your own internal balance of what is negative and what is positive. What is on the negative polarity and what is on the positive polarity. Voice crack. But those are some of the things that I learned at 15. Some of the things that I feel like I needed to get off my chest and just relay the message to you. I hope this video really helps someone out. And remember that you are God, being God, doing God-like stuff. And I'm out.